Hi, I'm Dee, owner and creator behind Dee's Purdy Pieces. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to thread a Cowboy CB6900. I'll also include how to go about winding a bobbin and my main trick when threading this particular machine. Okay, so to thread your machine, first step is to put the spool onto the thread stand. Take your thread, take it up through the guide at the top of the thread stand from the back to the front. Apologies, the camera's cut off that bit. I will insert a photo of it close up now. Once you've taken your thread through, you'll have to take it down on top of the machine, and there is a plate here that has 4 holes in it, top to top and down through the first hole, down and back up again, skip 1 hole and go through the 3rd hole along from the right, so 1, 2, 3, and top down again. Once you've had that there is a hole here next to the top tension disc. Take your thread and from back to front through the hole, sorry, harder to do without trying to get into the picture. And then follow it. You'll see here, just behind the dial, there are 2 tension discs. Take your thread, put them between the 2 tension discs, pull down firmly, and then all the way down, so you're going in anti-clockwise around, down here to the next tension disc at the bottom, and then again there are 2 discs at the back, feed it between the 2 discs, down, up, through firmly, and then onto the 3rd tension wheel, sorry my arm's in the way, onto the 3rd tension wheel here, up and down, pull firmly. You'll feel it not snap in, but you'll feel it go into place when you've put it through the discs, down and onto the final one. Now this one isn't it has the tension disc, but it's not a tension disc, but you put it through there anyway. I'll show you pictures close up. Sorry, it's a bit hard to see. And up again. So in front of this brace here, just behind this brace here, there is a feed from the bottom up, thread up, and then take up lever is behind here, through the take up lever, and then to the left you'll see 1, 2 like rectangular guides, I guess, and you put the thread down through both of those. And then there's this bit here, it's on a screw and it looks like a bar in front of it. It's actually kind of like flexible and has a bit of give. It's on a spring. So I put my thread to the left of that, lift it up just gently a little bit, and sits behind that bar. And then the square here, there's a little hole, little rectangular gap. Feed that down. And then once you get to the needle bar, there are 2 holes from the front, the top one just above where the screw goes in, and then there's another one that's in line with the screw that you use to take your needle in and out. You want to put the thread through that hole. So the hole that's in line with the screw for the needle and pull down. And then to thread your needle, you go from the left and thread it through the eye and down. I can't reach that at the moment to do that. So that's how you thread the machine. I'm just going to bring the camera closer and walk you through it again. Sorry if it turns into shaky cam. Try and be as kind of like fixed as possible. Okay, so we have the threads come down into the top, down, under, up, and into the third hole again, down, along, and there's a hole here, a guide, over to the left of the tension disc. So you're going anti-clockwise around that one. Pull it taut through. You've got to make sure you pull it taut all the way through, otherwise it might mess up when you're trying to feed the rest of them. So when you've come down, say to like, you know, down, straight down, go around to the right of the next tension disc. Again, taut through. This is a bit tricky if you don't have it taut. If you don't pull it tight, it won't go around that nicely when you go to try and pull it into the third tension disc. So down, around, pull it tight, up through this third tension disc, down, and I don't think this is a tension disc, but you go through, there's a gap. Again, it looks like two sections. In between those two sections, down, around, up, through this bit here, through the arm, down, and then, down through these two guides, 1, 2, and this is the one that I was talking about where it's flexible. This one is like a little spring. Put it down behind that one, and then through the gap that I don't know if you can see the gap just there, straight down, ignore that first hole. Second hole is where you want to thread it through, down to the left, and then to the left of the needle, feed it through the left of the eye and through to the right, and that's how you thread the machine. Oh, sorry, got caught. Okay. So that is how you officially thread the machine. This is how I thread the machine. Right. I want to change thread colors, which I do quite often. I will snip my thread back here. I will have my second thread ready to go already. The thread that I've just cut, which was red. The new thread I want is black. Tie them together. Make sure it's tight. The end of the thread is here. I'm just going to jump over to the other side. Sorry for shaky cam. The end of the thread is here. Now I want to pull, lever to the right, and just pull the thread through. Snip, feed through the middle. That's how I rethread my machine. I think I've only rethreaded my machine once in 7 months, fully rethread my machine once in 7 months that I've had it. I honestly cannot remember who taught me that trick. I probably saw it on one of many sewing YouTube videos that I watched, and it stuck because that is a lot of work to rethread this machine. Okay, so now on to winding a new bobbin. Let me just find one, uno momento. Okay, so I found a bobbin. This machine takes M-class bobbins, which are bigger than your standard bobbin. For reference, M-class is this one, and that is a standard bobbin for a Singer. I think they're class 15, I think that's what they're called. That's a Singer vintage bobbin. From memory, they don't change much from your current bobbins that you have in the domestic machines now. Okay, so to wind a bobbin on this machine. This machine can wind a bobbin while you are sewing. So I have found that as I've gone along, you start to hear not quite a rattle, but like, well, yeah, a rattle. It's when the bobbin has started to empty, and you hear it like kind of moving around the bobbin case more freely because there's not as much thread in it weighing it down. So I find that at that time it's good to wind a new bobbin. And of course I dropped my bobbin. I need to wind. Alright, so to wind a new bobbin. Now I've just cut this thread because I'm going to load it with black, because I always use black. But if you were still sewing, you would put, and you had a second black one, you could put the cone there in your second spot. And then this is a tension disc for your bobbin winding. There is a feed here and a feed down here. So what you need to do is top down through the guide hole, clockwise around through the tension discs in between, and again you'll pull and you'll feel it snap, not snap, but go into place, and then out the bottom guide hole and down. Now on the bobbin case, much like your domestic ones, there is a little feed hole just there that you put your thread through. I'll take a photo of it up close after I show you how to wind it. Put it through the little feed hole. Pull it all the way through. And this is where your bobbin winds. There's a little pole that comes out. Push your bobbin onto it firmly, like you will feel it go on. And push the lever down. Make sure your machine is turned on. And then you can either, if you're still sewing, it doesn't matter, but if you're not sewing and you're like this, I tend to pull the thread out of the needle and the guide hole at the top so that it doesn't get caught up in the mechanism when you're not sewing. When you're sewing, it's fine. It has something to do, but I found that when you leave it in there, it can get caught up and sit and get caught in the bobbin case. There's a lever at the back. Pull it up, it brings the feet up. Holding the thread out to the front so it doesn't get caught up in the bobbin case. And wind. And that's it. What I found is if I do not have enough thread at the front when I'm winding a bobbin and I'm holding it, when it winds, especially with, well, not especially, but with the bonded nylon, because that's what I'm using. With the bonded nylon, if I don't have enough thread at the front and I lose grasp of it or the thread breaks too soon, you see it snaps because it's just twisting and twisting and twisting. It will actually start to unravel on the inside and then I have to start again. So you're just better off having a lot more thread. So I've got 20 centimeters worth of thread there. And then just let it wind and wind and wind. And the thread snaps off. And now it's all sitting all nestled nicely in there. And you just keep winding and winding and winding until it's done. So that's if, yeah, so that's how you wind the bobbin on this machine. I think that's about it. When it's finished, this lever actually pops up like a normal standard domestic sewing machine. the lever pops up and it will stop turning. So that's fine. And then I just pull it out and I snip the thread actually after the tension discs here. If it's a thread that I'm likely to use again for winding a bobbin, or just to make it easy for me to grab later on if I have to change it over through the bottom here. So if I'm only running on one thread and it's popped off, I'll snip, grab that, and then tie it onto my thread again and pull it through all the threading process. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so if you need to replace your bobbin in your casing here, you slide back this cover, and you'll see just at the top here there's a little lever. Flip that up and then you lift this and out pops your bobbin. So there's your bobbin and the bobbin cover. Now to put in the new bobbin. You need the thread on the bobbin to be going clockwise. So down to the right. You want the thread to fall down to the right. Hold your case like this. You'll see that there is a little groove here. That's important. So put your thread in, pull to the right. Then you want to pull the thread up through that groove. Now pull the thread up through that groove, around that black tension part, because that is the tension part. You tighten or loosen these to change the tension on the bobbin case. Down, then up again, so that it sits through that little notch there at the top. So this bit can get a bit fiddly, so I wrap my pinky around the thread tail, hold the bobbin in place under, and finger on top. And then that's how it looks, and you want it to look like that as you're putting it into the case. As you'll see, it matches up with this component here. I'll just shuffle the camera. And see how it lines up with that bit there. So your bobbin is in the casing. Lick that down. Oh, wait, no, before you shut the casing, pull your tail out of the needle thread, and I hand crank it, and you'll see that's the needle, that's the top thread, coming around and picking up your bobbin thread just there, and then I lift up my foot and you pick up your bobbin thread. Now you shut the casing. Okay, well, thank you for watching my video. If there is anything that you need more clarity on or a more up-close picture of, please let me know, and I will take all that feedback and try and make a follow-up video with it, or replace this video with what you want to see. We'll see how we go. And if, obviously, as always, if you have any other ideas for content that you would like to see in regards to the CB6900 cylinder arm cowboy, please let me know and I will endeavour to record that for you. Okay, thank you. Bye.